Right, I'm gonna move. I've put all the ores in this chest. Now I'm gonna go move over the other ones.
Okay, is 31 obsidian enough?
Yeah, it'll be fine. I hope. I mean, it might not be, but maybe.
Well, there's loads more left if I want to do the thing.
Cool. I mean, it should be enough for now. I hope. That is the hope. Right. Oh, I've got so much ores now. We can build quite a lot of different things.
So many ores.
Yeah.
All them lovely ores.
Oh, them lovely ores. Right. I'm going to go back and get those Megan creams.
All right.
I think we actually need those. Maybe. Right. I've got everything.
According to the builders who have been working on my bathroom for the last couple of weeks, I sometimes speak Bristolian. Like I've definitely got the southwest of England tang in my voice. Yeah.
The tang.
Yeah. All right, my lover.
You
You're
kind
right.
of have like 6 or 7
Well, it's my chameleon
accents that you drop into.
Yeah, it's my chameleon accent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I imitate whoever I talk to. But you don't have a particularly strong accent, so I'd never really like pick up on yours. But like if you were more Somerset, I toots be a bit like, I got a brand new combine harvester, I'll give you the key. Boom, boom, boom.
Boom. Bit of the Wurzels there. I've seen the Wurzels like 3 times.
Have you seen the Wurzels or have you seen the Mangled Wurzels?
The Wurzels.
Which is the tribute act.
No, the actual Wurzels.
You've seen the actual... I've seen the Mangled Wurzels
That
a
sounds
lot.
awful.
Like, yeah. Well, like...
Claw.
I think the last time was when I was at the Bath Cider Festival, back when I was actually a drinker, so this is quite a while ago. And it was one of those moments where I
Sounds like you've used to have alcoholism or something.
Well, no, it was just
Back
like...
when I was a drunk.
Well, I was very drunk that night because I don't know if you've ever been to the Bath Cider Festival.
No, but it sounds amazing.
But Jesus wept. It is like the end of days. So it was about like, I don't know, towards the end of the night. Everything was really sticky on the floor because everyone's spilling all their cider by this point. Like, I'd had some really, like, nice cider and really awful cider. You know how you get the stuff that smells like...
Daisy, sorry.
Oh, dear. You know how
them.
it sometimes smells like the stuff that, like, has been fermenting in the bottom of a barrel with a rat in it or something like that. Yeah.
Or
so
just vinegar.
Yeah, I'd had some really bad cider as well. And then, like, I had just this perfect moment of lucidity where I looked up and the Mangled Wurzels were on stage doing their thing. Oh, you got a brand new combine harvester. I'll give you the key. Boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
And I was surrounded by people who were just utterly wasted. Like, end of days wasted.
That sounds great.
And there's the frickin' Mangled Wurzels with their beards and their waistcoats and their frickin' combine harvesters. And I was just like, I gotta get...
What am I doing with my life?
I gotta get out of here, guys. Like, Jesus.
Oh.
Yeah, and I've never drunk again. We got a brand new... Oh, now that's in my head. And now it's in your head, too. I got a brand new combine harvester and I'll give you the key. Bum bum bum. That's the very crucial bit. You've got to do the bum bum bum.
There we go, that worked.
No! No!
4 ritual stones. Okay, it's going to take a while to make a bunch of reinforced slates. I'm going to stand here and just bleed onto these slates for a while. Hope you don't mind.
Just clean up after yourself afterwards. Hey, so I've been... Don't ask me why, but I've been watching every single series of Come Dine
I love Come Dine With Me.
I know, I decided to watch it all from the very beginning.
Has it got like an ongoing narrative?
I guess, like, yeah, sure, like there's a whole canon and like David Lamb just grows more powerful and but yeah, I'm on like season 14.
Jesus Christ.
It's taking me quite long. But what was I going to say? I was thinking, would you ever go on Come Dine With Me?
I think no.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well.
But I do think we should do our own Yogscast.
No,
Come Dine With Me.
Because I like you, and like I want to carry on being friends, and I don't want to end up hating you and banning you from my house forever. Like, because that seems...
I don't think that would happen.
But that happens on Come Dine With with me.
Because they're all strangers and they're all
people.
crazy, awful people.
They're
Exactly.
all horrible. Like, I've not seen one at all where people are actually like nice to each other and appreciate the food. Like, and I've always been taught as well that if you go to someone's house and they've gone to all the effort of cooking for you, even if it's freaking awful, you're still polite and nice, and like, you know, you just put up with it, because it's just, you know, it's just a bit of food. You just eat it. You just get on with it. You get on with life. You know, you don't sit there and go, oh, I don't eat chicken. I don't eat cheese.
They pick people in the show
I don't eat
purposely
sauce.
that don't eat anything.
It's awful.
They're like, would you apply to go and come dine with me if you don't eat anything?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like
No one eats, like, there's like one person I've ever seen that likes fish on that show.
Well, there was even a guy who was a pescatarian. So he eats like fish, seafood, and vegetables, but won't eat meat. And he was whinging because everyone was cooking him fish. And I was like, well, if you say all you eat is fish, no offence, mate, but people are just going to feed you fish. Like, what a thing to whinge about. Like, oh, I'm sorry people are feeding you the thing that you said you would eat. Ugh. And then there was a woman who was just getting offended, like the one I was watching this morning, because nobody would drink. Like, and they were just like, yeah, don't. And she was like literally forcing alcohol down them, and she went to go make some punch and all this, and she was just whinging because they wouldn't like get wasted. And I was just like, I don't think it's right that you should force people to get pissed up if they don't want to. I think, you know, it's fine. But anyway, my next question was, if you're going to be on Come Dine With Me, what would your menu be?
I've had this like thought so many times, and I keep changing what my answer would be.
Yeah.
So I don't really know at the moment.
Okay, so if you were cooking for us, bearing in mind that we hang out with a bunch of nerds who have the weirdest, like, hatred of food ever.
I think Lewis would pretty much eat anything.
Yeah, he's pretty good, actually. I'm more thinking about
You'd
Shin.
pretty much eat anything. Shin would be an issue.
Yeah, he's just...
But he's getting better.
Yeah.
Like when he first moved to Bristol, he'd never eaten a prawn.
Oh my good God, yeah.
Never eaten a prawn.
Like, yeah.
Now he likes them.
Never lived, that boy.
And he's been eating a lot of Chinese food recently. So I don't know what I'd make. I think I make a really, really fucking good spaghetti bolognese. Like, insanely good.
Is that Come Dine With Me, though? Like, is that... I don't know. Is that Come Dine With Me standards?
It is real good, though.
Okay. Well, that could be, like, your risky one, because you're allowed the risky one that, like, you know, people will read it and be like, nah, whatever.
What the hell?
Yeah,
Just
but
bolognese.
then when they actually eat it, they'll be like, oh, my God, converted.
I could do lasagna really well.
No, well, that's the thing. It has to be a main, doesn't it? Like, I don't think you could do a starter of lasagna.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm still thinking of the main. I'm still thinking of it.
Well, what would your starter be?
Starter... I don't know. That's a tricky one. I think dessert I'd do creme brulee.
Oh!
Because I fucking love creme brulee.
You can make it?
Yeah.
It's hard to
just
make.
custard, isn't it?
It's just custard. You heard it here, boys and girls. It's just custard. Like, that's the kind of stuff you'd say, and then it'll cut to, like, an hour later when you're making it, and you're like, everything's on fire!
I think I could make a creme brulee.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Coming that hard. Yeah, the start is, like, the hardest bit, I think.
Yeah? Because you've got to set the tune for the evening, haven't you?
You really have. Bleed. What would you make as a starter?
Well, I always, like, change my mind about what I do because I hate everyone. Because originally, like, when I first started watching all of this, I thought I'd make Malaysian and Chinese food, but as it keeps on going on, like, everyone hates everything. Oh, for God's sake.
I bled myself too much.
You're corrupted by taint.
I don't know why I said that.
And like, everyone just has so many issues with everything. I'm just like, well, I don't know that people would eat Malaysian Chinese food because they'd just be like, oh, it's too spicy, or oh, I don't like seafood, or oh, I don't like anything. So I just get rather depressed because when I initially thought about all of this, I was like, well, I totally do Come Dine With Me to kind of showcase Malaysian culture and be like, oh, hey guys, this is what Malaysian food is like. And, you know, and normally, I think if I cook that for you, you'd totally get into that because you love kind of exploring food culture. But I think people who go and come dine with me just seem to hate
They'd be
everything
like,
foreign.
I'm English and I only eat roast potatoes and Yorkshire puddings.
Yeah, and then whenever it's like someone cooks Chinese food, they're like, oh, it's got to be sweet and sour or nothing, and I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then like, yeah, when anyone cooks actual authentic like Indian curry or something like that, like there was this one guy, like this woman cooked an she was an Indian woman, she cooked authentic Indian curries, and it was like, oh, she didn't make papadom and lager and naan, so like, you know, you got to have that for your proper curry and stuff like that, and it's not, and he was from like Yorkshire or something like that, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, dude, like, you know, just because it wasn't the English way of serving it, like, doesn't mean it's
Oh, god
awful.
damn it, I keep making these effing sorry, if you leave it in too long, it turns into an imbued slate, which
Right.
is, I don't even know what it is.
annoying.
Frustrating.
But yeah, okay, so if I was doing it for you guys, minus Shin, I don't know. I'd probably make a selection of dishes for the main course. I don't know.
That's risky, though.
I'd really like to risk it and do... Well, because whenever I have dinner with my parents or Malaysian family, we don't have like one main meal for the... we have like several little dishes.
That you're going to be having to cook it at the same time as entertaining.
Yeah, but I do that. Like, you know...
You can't take too long.
Yeah, I guess. But, yeah, I don't know. Because, like... Well, like, when you guys came over for my 500 sub special, I had several different dishes, but there wasn't that much of a wait, was there? Like, I made a fair bit of it beforehand.
No, that's true. Yeah, it's pretty good.
So I don't know if I'd go, like, the traditional route and have several dishes as main meal, so, like, beef rendang curry, some kind of Assam prawns, so, like, kind of sourish prawns. And then that's a whole minefield as well, because I would cook shell on prawns, because that's where the most flavour is, and I think it's fun to kind of eat them with your fingers and peel the shell. But some people are like, oh, how dare you, serve me this! And then they get squeamish and they're like, oh, it's got a head on it, I hate it, it's looking at me!
Yeah, there's no way that would go down well, I would come down with me.
Exactly. But like, or I would really risk it and do a steamboat, like a Chinese steamboat, you know, the... Have I invited you around for one of those? No, I haven't yet. I keep meaning to, don't I? Whoops, sorry, I'm a bad friend. But that's where you have a central, like, kind of hot plate of broth. And then you have all these raw ingredients like meat, fish, prawns, squid, vegetables, various, like, tofu things, fish balls, all that kind of thing. And then everyone kind of cooks it themselves, like, dips it in. And it's like a really... It's
Korean
so
barbecue,
much fun. It's like Korean barbecue
soup.
or, like, maybe a fondue, I think, would be one of the Western equivalents or something like that. But it's like either a vegetable broth or a chicken broth or, like, a spicy broth. I've got, like, a hot pot that has two sections to it. So you can have one half that's spicy, one half that's normal, like, kind of general broth. And the idea is it gets so tasty as everything cooks.
I guess,
like,
the
so by
longer
the end,
it gets, like,
yeah,
the more
honestly,
things that
the
have been in
broth
it,
gets so tasty. So I'd be tempted to risk it, because that's a very risky one, because I don't know if I could do that
That's
for, like...
super risky.
I could not do that for regular come dine with people, because they'd be like, oh my god, it's so unhygienic, like, cooking, and I don't want to have to cook it myself, and I don't know what I'm cooking, and oh my god, she's got the shell on prawns again.
Oh, gosh.
And like, people get really snobbish about that,
I think that would work for us, though. That'd be great.
Yeah, so that would be my main, I think. I'd be at that for the main. For starter, I would probably start with maybe wonton soup, and make my own wonton, that kind of thing. If we're sticking with a Chinese theme, I guess that would work. And then for dessert, I'd probably actually go Western, and I make a really good tiramisu.
I like tiramisu.
I make a really good tiramisu. Like, really good. Like, it's good. It's a good tiramisu. So I think that's what I'd go if it was you guys.
That sounds cool.
So what would your starter be? Come on, you need a starter.
Can't really do seafood, can you?
If it was for me and like-minded friends who are not fussy.
I think maybe like I make this quite nice thing, which is like phyllo pastry, feta and spinach pie.
Okay.
It's real nice.
But would that go with, like, if you had spaghetti bolognese or lasagna? That's quite heavy, like, because you've got a heavy main.
It's quite a light pie.
And what did you say you were going to make for dessert?
Creme brulee.
Creme brulee. That's quite a nice dessert, I think. So you've got to go light, heavy, light, I think.
Maybe a salad.
A salad?
Salad with like a nice one.
I freaking hate salad.
Not.
I freaking hate
You had the wrong salads then.
It's just... Ugh. They're cold and boring. And I hate them.
They're cold, that's true. But they don't have to be boring. What about...
Well, that's the thing, is you could be like that, and I'd be like, oh, like, you know, in the preamble where I'm reading the menu, and I'm like, oh, salad, bleh. Like, it's cold, and then when I eat it, I'll be like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever, I bow down to your salad expertise.
Or a soup. I like soup.
What entertainment would you do?
That's the thing. This is the thing that I think that we would be bad at.
You would. I'm great at entertaining.
I don't know, like, a lot of the entertainment they have just looks incredibly awkward.
Yeah.
Like, when they get people dancing on, like, in front of them, just for, like, 4 people. Oh,
I'd be tempted to, like, teach people how to play Mahjong.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How many players is that?
4.
That could work.
So that could work if it's the 4, or like, you know...
I always thought maybe just
5.
crack out, like, Rock Band and get people playing it.
Some people have done that, but it's always been really awkward because it's always been with the middle-aged people who have no idea what a video game is. And
Yeah,
they're just
but-
like, what am I doing?
It's not that hard. Like, you give them the drums and it's just, like, playing the drums.
Yeah, but honestly, I literally just watched an episode in Scotland where they did
Really?
that, and like,
didn't work.
yeah, I really hate it, and it was kind of mean because people were being mean about the woman who was singing, and it was "Eye of the Tiger," which is hard. That's a hard song to sing. And I thought I'm going to take your experience. I thought she did a really good job. Like, I thought the woman who sang it did a really, really good job. And everyone was just like, oh my God, it was so embarrassing. Like, it was just totes, like, terrible. And I was just like...
Okay, that's not a good idea then.
I thought it was really good. I thought she did a good job.
Oh, thanks.
I think if you had, like, similar-minded people, it would work. That's the thing I always think about Come Dine With Me, is, like, it really depends on who
They always
you...
pick, like, a very diverse group. And it's...
Yeah.
I think that's... Yeah.
If you get
good in some
similar-minded
ways,
people, like, you could totally get away with anything, but what happens if you end up with the asshole?
Exactly. What if you end up with the fucking 3 vegans?
Oh my God, that would be my total nightmare situation, is vegans. Like, you know, I have nothing against veganism and vegetarianism and people who eat gluten-free options and all this kind of thing. Nothing against it. I've got a lot of friends who are vegans, vegetarian, and when they come over and eat, I always source alternatives for them. But on Come Dine With Me, vegans and vegetarians are the worst. They always pick the ones who are, like, preachy and, like, talk about, I don't know, animal cruelty at the dinner table while someone's eating meat, which I think is just rude. And, like, you know, and then they're just, like, fussy about everything. And then they're like, oh, I got another risotto again. And I'm like, well, if you are going to be a vegetarian on Come Dine With Me, that's what you're going to get.
That is nice.
I know, but I do feel sorry for vegetarians who, like, in I was going to say hospitals, in restaurants where, like, the one option is risotto, like mushroom risotto or something like that.
Well,
like, that's the thing, is I would try and prepare
Go to a
something.
vegetarian restaurant if you want vegetarian food. God.
I would try and prepare something that isn't just like the meat option minus the meat. I would try and prepare something that is like nice vegetarian food, not just kind of...
When I go home from my parents, right, my sister is gluten-free.
Can I have your portal gun, by the way?
And my dad is vegan.
Yeah.
So we have to make gluten-free vegan food. And I tell you what, there's not much that is gluten-free vegan.
Yeah.
There's very little you can make.
I can imagine.
Because everything's got gluten in. Literally, everything.
Yeah.
I never knew how many things had gluten in until I had to try and cook without it.
Like, literally, no problem with anyone's dietary requirements, but sometimes I'm just like, how do you live? How do you live, sir?
Honestly, because we don't know. What can you eat? You must be starving.
Like, I've got a friend as well who's vegan, gluten-free and all that, and she takes so many supplements, and I'm just like, at what point is this healthy? Like, come on.
Supplements are not healthy.
Yeah.
I've read studies. Right, so I think I've got enough ritual stones very shortly.
I'm just rounding up some more
You
dwarves.
give that obsidian to me yet?
It's in the chest that says blocks.
Okay, cool.
And I'm just rounding up some more dwarves for you.
That's 16. Do I need 16? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 6. I need 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Oh, fucking hell. I need so many of these things. I didn't realise how much blood I needed. Right,
I didn't realise how much work this would
start
be.
building the ritual. So, a ritual is First, you have to build it, and then you have to do it. So building it is basically you have
Are any dwarves coming through to the prison?
Yes.
Good.
They're angry.
Good.
It's like there's these ritual stone blocks, right, which I've been building like for ages now. Mm-hmm. And I've got 16 of them, and then you've got to put them in a certain pattern, and then you've got to paint them certain colours, and then you've got to do the ritual in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by... Basically, I've got to dig out, I think, all of this stone. And no, I've always had trouble with this bit, is working out where to actually put the ritual. And I think it has to go like the central stone goes in the middle. Mm-hmm. So it's a special central stone.
There should be a lot of doors.
Yeah, they're coming in.
I've kind of went on a bit of a rampage here.
So it's 2 blocks out, which is...
For this life to be over. That's my special dwarf rounding up
song. It's quite sad.
Well, Cartman sings it when he's being evil.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm about to die.
What?
I'm about to die.
Don't let yourself die. Come back.
These
golden
dwarves
apple.
have cut me. They've cut me deep.
Don't let them get away with that.
No, I won't. I'm going to murder you all.
Oh my god.
I'm going to murder all your tiny dwarven faces.
And all your children too.
You're gonna bleed for me, little man. You're gonna bleed for me. Bleed for me.
Bleed for me. Ritual stone.
Is the prison full?
Don't know. I can't see. 1, 2, pitch stone. Good. Aha, this seems to work. Okay. And then, so let's cut out all of these too.
God bless portal guns and dwarven fortresses.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make this
Ethical?
this room bigger, I think, soon, because these rituals are quite sizely.
Well, isn't that why you were building like the new wing?
Yeah, it turns out there wasn't much space to build under that castle. We're gonna have to expand this bit, I think.
We could always expand downwards.
Oh.
Deep
The thing is,
underground.
we need this. That's not what we need, though. We need sideways girth.
We'll probably need some kind of power as well.
Yeah. Power. I'm thinking nuclear.
Ooh, nuclear.
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 Am I pronouncing it right?
Nuclear.
Nuclear.
Well, Americans go nuclear. Nuclear, as in like nuclear.
No, they go nuclear.
Oh, they go nuclear. Okay, I forget which one who does
I think. I'm not sure. I think we pronounce it. It's nuclear. Yeah.
Everyone
Nuclear
is
power.
different in the world of fun.
World of fun. Wow. There is shit everywhere.
I've been very busy, boss. You did say I needed to get out and about, so, meet the locals. Enslave villagers.
Oh, all right. I could probably feed them there. All 50 of you get 1 pork chop. Fight between yourselves.
But you don't want them to bleed, boss. You want them to bleed into the thing.
That's true. Oh, well. A few deaths won't matter.
Is it time for the murdering yet?
I think it might be,
Is it time to feed the machine?
I don't know. I don't have nothing to build right now. We need to build this.
Do you know what? Do you know what Blood Magic kind of reminds me of?
What?
This comic book I used to read by Jonan Vasquez called Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
Yeah.
And he believed that he had to paint the walls of his basement with blood, otherwise things would come through from the other side. So he was always out murdering. Always out murdering. So he could just bleed these people and like paint this wall so the other things couldn't come through.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Jonan Vasquez is the same guy who did Zim, Invader Zim.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Doesn't
Which
have
made
kids.
me laugh because, like, obviously I grew up knowing him as Jonan Vasquez of Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, and then when I found out that he was given a series on Nickelodeon, I was like, what the hell? Like, how did that? What dark art? I mean, has he been painting his basement with blood? Because some dark art definitely led to him getting a TV series on a children's channel. But I definitely think you can tell the kind of Johnny the Homicidal Maniac influence on some of the episodes, like the Halloween special. Jesus Christ.
The dark one.
Oh, it's scary. It's like super scary. But yeah, I freaking love Johnny the Homicidal Maniac and Invader Zim.
So is it TV show then?
It's a cartoon, yeah.
Okay.
On kids Nickelodeon.
No, I mean the homicidal one?
Oh, it's a comic book.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's definitely not for children. It's really quite dark and horrible. Lots of horrible, brutal murders.
Jeez.